Well, I've been playing and playing with this, not all day, I've been otherwise occupied, but I'm out of ultramarine blue, didn't run to the store today. And I thought, well, there's a good opportunity for me to maybe learn something. So I actually toyed with phthalo blue and some raw umber and phthalo blue and some burnt sienna together. And although it works to achieve very dark colors, you know, for some outlining and for some deep intensity, it seems to me a bit of a waste of phthalo blue because the beauty, the intensity, the strength of phthalo blue lies in its ability when you raise the temperature or when you raise the value of it, the chroma becomes so high. Now, except for the fact that you can still end up with, here's a touch of phthalo blue and burnt sienna in here and a hint of white. So you do end up with a fairly deep, rich greenish blue, sort of an intense teal color, which I do like, and I've never played with it before. So I don't mind that at all. But now I'm back to sort of laying out the scene again, because I want to finish, I would like to finish the base here. I'm going to have to revisit it and re-emphasize some of the darker lines around here. I think. We'll see. But in the meantime, I'm just taking a bit of, this is cobalt blue, and raw umber, and I'm just going to do some things kind of quickly, because I got lost again in you know, doing little touches. No. What am I thinking? Don't do that. And I think this is a little too warm for this foreground. You know, I was using yellow ochre, ultramarine blue, a bit of burnt sienna in here, and I may have become too warm. Not sure, but let's just try to figure that out right now. So we're going to continue with the raw umber and cobalt blue. It's a good combination for cool colors. It's definitely a combination that I almost always use in my rocks. It's not the only combination, but it's almost always included in there. It's almost always a constituent of that. Now, I used cobalt blue and raw umber to do some outlining. Now what I should do is use the same colors to, with the addition of white, to play in this. Okay, that's cold. I like that cold. It's a bit bluish. I like that too. I'm finding this to be too distracting from that, which is why I want to move into here. Guess I better squeeze a little more. Oh no, I've got enough cobalt blue here. Oh, I know what I need. White. I love titanium white. It takes days to dry out or even form a skin. You know, unless it's hot weather outside. And so I tend to put a pretty big blob. You know, of the blobs that I put on my palette, the biggest blob is always titanium white. Because, you know, being lazy, I don't want to keep adding to it. And if I put a reasonably generous blob on there, I know it's good for a few days. That's really too high a value. Boy, that's just crazy. this. I'm going to try to be a little rougher. I'll be a rustic painter here. Yep, value's higher. Temperature's colder. Chroma's lower. And I think that's our answer. You know, I was going to repeat some of these, I was going to put some rocks in here, repeating these colors. I don't think I will. I think I'll just have some bedrock poking through right in this area. Kind of liking that idea. And as you can see, I'm not getting hung up in details right now. Yes, it's a bit of a pain going over the texture of the paint that I already have on there, but it's okay, we can live with that. If there's one thing this painting could stand, it's a little bit of loosening up. And this definitely does the job. And of course the paint is being applied more thickly here than it was higher, for the most part. Yeah, I think that should work. And I've changed to a bit of a stiffer, bigger knife. I was using this. I don't know if you can see those two. Yes, you can, sort of. This one is thinner. More flexible too, though. Higher quality knife. But I can go to a stronger one as we get closer to the foreground here. It's alright. It's alright. It's not a problem. That white is just out of line, man. It's not the truth. I can't handle the truth. Yeah, I think that's working. You've got to remember that people are not going to typically be viewing this from 10 inches away. It's not a big painting, but it's not a tiny painting, so I think that people will typically be looking at this, you know, well, you can see it from across the room if it's strong enough, and that's what I like. I prefer that. You know, I like the idea of repeating these colors down here, but is it necessary? Not really. I might still dip back into here with the odd bit of those color, you know, just the odd stroke of them. And I might not. Okay. Fading down in value towards the edge. You know, the foreground just looks more decisive. I don't think I had it on the last video, but I went way too green here. It was just too green. I don't mind some green working together with things in the composition. But the green that I had here would be something that a painter of golf courses would use. And I'm just not a painter of golf courses. Adding a hint of yellow ochre to this now. Okay. You know what I'm doing right now might not be the final strokes, but over the last few days I've been kind of negligent on the workings of this painting, so today I thought I better just get off the pot here and get some work done. It's kind of an interesting little area in here. It's okay, that sort of falls below our interesting areas up here. Let me just stand up and back up and have a peek. I think I'm kind of happy with that. And I'm still tempted because I have those residual thoughts in my mind that I would like to take some of these colors and bring them down. But there's enough content here. I think that'll work. I need to lay in some highlights on some of these trunks. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure that I need to do a whole lot else. Now I'm going to take some cobalt blue and a little bit of burnt sienna. And there will be a bit of white in here as well. Not quite as strong as the phthalo that I'd introduced earlier. Excuse me, but mainly the phthalo idea was to, because it didn't have ultramarine, I wanted it for some darker lines. You know, and I could have used just Payne's Gray. You know, just straight Payne's Gray. But it's just so black. It's not a happy mixer. It's just sort of void of color. I know that there are certain times where it's beneficial, but I didn't think this was one of them. Okay, I like the design. I like the way the light lands on it. Any touches can be given later. Okay, I'm going to, as I often do, maybe not always, but as I often do, I'm going to square off the camera with the painting so that you can see what I see. Yeah, that's going to work. You know, we might still bring in not these colors, but relatives of them, but a lower value. Might touch it here and there, might not, don't know. But as far as the overpainting is concerned, it's almost done. I have to paint in the foliage on this tree. And as I said, a few highlights here and there, just to spread out the sparkle. Okay, talk soon.